We've got it right here. We've got Mr. Goat's supercomputer. He's got a supercomputer, not like the one in Australia. The one in here in his tuffet. And he's got who's going to win the French Open. He's got everything right here. Today on Coffee Break Tennis, the news is that Serena Williams is out. That gives Maria Sharapova a big chance. I've got all the numbers crunched here from Mr. Goat's supercomputer, and Fabio Fognini blasts the quote-unquote bullshit next-gen movement in front of the ATP vice president. You knew I had to read this story. Welcome, my friends, to Coffee Break Tennis, where the fun never stops. It's a sensation. It's a special occasion. It's the fastest-growing tennis talk show in the world. So right here, Mr. Goat has taken 4 very important statistics in the men's draw. Didn't do it in the women's draw. It takes a lot of time to compile all these numbers. It's too bad places like the French Open website don't do this for you. So here are the 4 key stats. Well, really 3 with a bonus, but it's 4 stats that Mr. Goat thought are very important. First serve win percentage, second serve win percentage, return win percentage, and the plus or minus winners to unforced errors differential. We'll save Fabio Fognini's story for later. Let's just get through the numbers here, and at the end of the show, we'll also talk about the women's draw just a little bit, but let's get into these men's. We got the quarterfinals lined up. This is a very exciting time in any major. So the way this would work is, let's say you are winning the most on first serve. You would be number 1. We're in the quarterfinals, so I ranked everyone for top 8 on these 4 stats. I mean, Mr. Goat did it. I was lucky enough to take advantage of the fruits of his labor. That's why he's asleep. He's very worn out from crunching numbers on his little cat calculator. So if you ranked number 1 on all 4 of these stats, you would get a 1, 1, 1, 1. Add them up. The lowest, it's like golf. The lowest number is the winner. So for instance, if we were only going off of first serve, let's take a look, put them on the screen. These are the first serve numbers. Cilic, 80% win on first serve. Second is Rafa with 78. Third, 77. 76, 75, 74, 72, and Djoker last place of the final 8 players at this year's French Open with a 68% win on first serve percentage. So if we were only going off of that, obviously Cilic would be the winner because he has a 1. Djokovic would be the last place because he has an 8. So what happened? We added up all these important stats. First, let's just look at the top 3 players and just generally everything on each important stat. Second serve win percentage, Rafa is number 1 with 64%, but Cilic is right there. So just going on serve alone, Cilic is number 1 in first serve, number 2 on second serve. Rafa is number 2 on first serve, number 1 on second serve. Cilic and Rafa are the serving kings of this tournament. Top 3 return, it's Little Diego, who I've got a new nickname for. It's Schwarty D. Schwarty D has 51% win. So Schwarty D is last place on win on second serve percentage with 52, and he's almost winning off of the return, the same exact number as his second serve, 51%. Rafa, second place. So there's a theme here. Rafa, first or second on everything. Let's go to the differential. DelPO, who I'm so impressed with. We'll look at a few highlights in a moment. DelPO, the one thing I've been noticing from his matches, even though he had to play the oldest Frenchman in the world for his first 2 rounds, maybe that was a benefit, helped pad his stats a little, although they played pretty well. DelPO is plus 52 winners over unforced errors. So that means he has 52 more winners than unforced errors in this tournament. That's pretty incredible. Rafa right there with 47. And then don't forget, Cecchinato, the Italian guy, not Fognini, is... He's in this thing, too. He's in the last 8. He's kind of the biggest surprise, obviously. He's plus 35. Zverev, last place there. He's kind of a surprise, too, isn't he? Because he's had to play 3 5-setters in a row. Just want to put it out there. It's hard to believe that he could get to the final here and beat Rafa, having to go through 3 5-setters where it really seemed like these are guys where he shouldn't have had to beat them in 5. But, hey, if he somehow wins this, I think it's a lot more impressive to see someone win almost every match in 5 compared to last year where we saw Rafa and Roger win in majors in straight sets in every single round. So something to think about there. So not too surprising. We expect things like seeing little Diego Schwartzmann, Schwarty D, in first place on return here. And we are not surprised to see him in last place since he's very short compared to these other guys in the second serve win percentage department. Mr. Goat, put it on the screen. Let's take a look at these big leaders. So number 1 is Rafa, 7. That's going to be pretty tough to beat because look at second, almost double at 13. So right there, Mr. Goat's supercomputer will tell you that Rafa's going to win this thing. No surprise. Cilic, though, is someone he may have to play pretty soon. He's got Schwarty D in the quarterfinals coming up, and Cilic will have to play DelPO. But look, Cilic and DelPO, number 2 and number 3, very close, 13 and 15 when you add it up, because Cilic was first in first serve, second in second serve, 6th place in return, but 4th place in the differential. And why do I like this differential stat? Because it's clay, and as we all know on clay, even the great Roger Federer, who's on our cup here, yeah, Mr. Goat loves Roger Federer. Even Roger Federer has admitted in the past that the biggest thing on clay, no matter how good you are, you have to be patient, and it's not like the other surfaces, and it takes time to master. So this plus or minus differential on winners over unforced errors is like the patience meter on clay, and it may surprise some of you, but DelPO, so far and away, 52, plus 52. We look at the bottom, Alexander Zverev, Sasha, -7. Thiem, -5. Schwarty D, even. Djoker, +7. Cilic, +9. And then Cecchinato, Rafa, DelPO are 52, 47, 35. Huge numbers. So that tells me that those guys are really feeling good in the rallies. They're moving really well. DelPO has really blown me away with the movement. Don't get me wrong. Cilic, who's 4th on this differential thing, he looks really good in the movement department too, especially because he's such a big guy, but DelPO looks even better to me, and DelPO has just as much power on the ground strokes. Let's look at the highlights of DelPO. Look at this backhand. It's back, baby. This is a big difference. DelPO could win this thing. So for Del Potro, the combination of the big forehand, we all knew he had that. Now the big backhand working as well, and the incredible movement. Of course, he's got a solid serve game too. He's returning well since tall guys on clay, like we had the Isner 2011 match with Rafa where he almost beat him in 5 sets. The tall guys on clay don't get as bothered by Rafa's high bouncing forehand that goes to the lefty to righty backhand. DelPO is going to have a shot because he's hitting that backhand so well. Cilic is also hitting the backhand very well. They're both moving very well. They both have the power to hit through this slow court, even against someone like Rafa, although he plays the best defense in the world in history on clay. It's no surprise to me. Number 2, Cilic. Number 3, DelPO. They can be looming in the semis. Rafa will have to get past Schwarty D. Even though Schwarty D is returning so well, don't think he will be able to return against Rafa as well. And again, he's got a good backhand. He's a great rally guy, but he's even on the differential. He's not got some big whopping number there. And Rafa is going to give him more trouble than anyone on his backhand side. When Rafa gives him that high back, he's a little guy. Look what happened to David Ferrer. Little guy, two-handed backhand. Yeah, you got more control over it, but Rafa can get it so high for a shorter guy like Ferrer or Schwarty D. So there you go. There's your rankings. Rafa, Cilic, DelPO, Djoker, Schwarty D, Dominic Thiem, this Cecchinato Italian guy, and Alexander Sasha Zverev, whose number is more than 3 times the size of Rafa's. So according to this, Zverev should go down fairly soon. So Zverev has to play Dominic Thiem next. That's going to be huge. That's tomorrow. That's a big-time match. We're going to learn a lot. Who will be the Prince of Clay is one thing we hear going around. I think Del Potro might end up being the king of clay at this tournament, at least one time. But that's getting way ahead. And, of course, DelPO's the number here with the big leaderboard that we've used with Mr. Goat's Supercat supercomputer. DelPO's number 15, almost double the 7, the incredible staggering 7 that Rafa has. But still, I like DelPO's chances over Cilic. I like DelPO's chances over Rafa. If anyone's going to beat Rafa, I mean, if you had to pick someone, gotta like DelPO. The good news for Alexander Sasha Zverev is Dominic Thiem doesn't look that great either. I mean, don't get me wrong, he doesn't look bad. He's got, but on this supercomputer numbers here, Dominic Thiem, where is he at? First serve, he's 3rd place. Okay, that's good. Second serve, he's 5th place out of 8 people. On the return, he's 5th. And on the differential, he's 7. So I'm curious to hear you. Comment below who's going to win, Thiem or Alexander Sasha Zverev, according to these numbers. Thiem is a slight edge. He's ahead of Zverev in every department on here. All 4 of these big stats. Except they are tied, both with 54% win on second serve. Djokovic versus Cecchinato tomorrow. What do you guys got there? I mean, it's hard to imagine Djoker losing that one, but stranger things have happened with Djokovic in the last couple years. According to this list, Djoker's got him in every department, except that big differential. Is Cecchinato really that more comfortable in the rallies, knowing when to pull the trigger, when to hold back? It's really important on clay. Is that even going to be a factor in the match? I don't know. It's something to point out here. Maybe the match will be closer than we think. You never know with these guys who play someone like Djokovic. He's a living legend. Cecchinato might have a total choke moment. He's never been here before, so we got to favor Joker there. If anyone thinks Schwarty D is going to upset Rafa, please comment below why you believe that. So a quick word on the women's draw before we wrap today's show up with the Fabio Fognini stuff. I am really liking how this looks for Sloane Stephens. Madison Keys, but I don't trust her as much after what we saw in the U.S. Open. I don't trust Cilic as much after what we've seen with him in some places as well. He looked a little choky against Fognini at times. He can get away with it there. He can't get away with it against Rafa. I don't think he's going to be able to get away with it against Del Potro. So I don't trust Madison Keys because she can get a little choky at times, even though she has all the weapons and all the talent in the world to win this thing. Sloane Stephens, I know she struggled at the beginning of this year, but she won the U.S. Open last year. She's looked really good to me. She's got the power to hit through the players on clay, unlike Simona Halep. She's got the movement and the athleticism similar to a Simona Jalapeno Halep. I like Simona Halep, obviously. I was kind of down on her going into here because she'd been losing bagels and breadsticks to players that she should beat. She's been getting it together at the right time here at the French Open, and the draw is just looking better and better for her. Sharapova is in the way of the Jalapeno. Angelique Kerber is a Grand Slam champion. I don't know. Halep should beat Kerber. Sharapova actually has a shot here. I like Sloane Stephens and Sharapova, and of course Halep maybe can find a way to finally win this thing. Of course, comment below what you think of the women's draw. And now, finally, Fabio Fognini blasts the bullshit next-gen movement in front of ATP vice president. Fabio Fognini's launched a scathing attack on the ATP's next generation campaign. The next-gen thing is bullshit.
Yeah, the crowd is stunned. They're laughing along.
Obviously, he should, guys, get a code violation.
I didn't like all the attention that this initiative has attracted. Years ago, Rafa was winning Paris at 18. Now we got Shapovalov, who's 25 in the world. He's improved a lot, but he plays first match on Suzanne Lenglen and second on court 1. When I see the order of play, I'm stunned seeing Muguruza and Kuznetsova, for example, playing somewhere else. The ATP does many good things, but I don't agree with this one. I don't understand this next-gen thing. I don't agree to all this attention given to these young players. They play well. Kachanov, Rublev, Zverev, Shapovalov, they all play well, but there is such a frenzy about them. I don't like it. I don't agree. If someone plays well, he's going to get attention anyways. Winning 10-8 in the 5th on court 27. You got to go through that. Not playing Federer on Chatrier. And then here's your money line. What we leave you with. Hit the music. We're going to get out of here, Mr. Goat. The money line from Fabio Fognini blasting those little young twerps, those damn young kids. Eat more pasta, run more, win more matches. Love, Fabio Fognini. Mr. Goat, what do you think about this one? Hit this one with your laser eyes. Mr. Goat always shoots the lobs with his laser eyes. See ya!